Hello. It has been a very long while. This is the May wrap-up, and I know I'm always late with these videos, so it's probably not that much of a surprise, but it's a surprise because I'm actually filming this late. Usually I don't film them late. I film them semi-early, and then I just take forever to edit them. But I am filming this on June 21st, just because, a lot of reasons. I've been dealing with a lot of, personal stuff in my life that have been, huge struggles for me. And then also, of course, the world has been going to shit. And there's been a lot of things that have made me angry, a lot of things that have made me very sad, a lot of things that have just made me very confused and lost. And I felt like I was never in the right headspace to do this type of video. And I do want to say that I 100% support the Black Lives Matters movement. I 100% support the LGBTQIA, including the T, unlike J.K. Rowling. So my eyes have definitely been open to a lot of things that have been very upsetting. And so I didn't really know quite what to say or what to do, and I also felt like that no matter what I said, it was never gonna come out right, because I don't have any experience with the things that are going on. I am just learning about it now. I am horrified by the things that I've been learning, and it's been very, very tough. Also because one of my roommates works for the Los Angeles Police Department, and that has led to some rough conversations. Anyway, there's a different background. I just yesterday spent the entire day reorganizing my bookshelves because I just needed to focus my mind on something that wasn't sad for once this month. So I just wanted to show off my reorganizing skills, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted a new scenery. And then also I am combining all of this stuff because I did not read a lot of books and I did not watch a lot of movies, and it felt pointless to have them all be separate videos. Also, I am filming this late, so I don't want to edit 3 separate videos. I just want to put it all together in one video, and I can totally do that. So, the first thing we're going to talk about are the books that I read this month, and I only read 4 books. I'm not going to go into the statistics for the books or the movies just because there's so little that it's not going to really matter. The first book I'm going to talk about is my Shakespeare read for the month of May, because every month I try to read one Shakespeare play, and this month's Shakespeare play, we're already going to start in a very angry place. I read Two Gentlemen of Verona. I hated this play. I hated it so much. I've never hated a Shakespeare play as much as I've hated this one. So let's go into a rant, y'all. I'm gonna actually tell you the entire story of Two Gentlemen of Verona, including the ending, because it was so, WTF, an angry WTF. And also, I don't want people to read this, so I'm just gonna tell you what happens. Okay, so we've got Valentine, and we've got Sylvia. I know it says Two Gentlemen of Verona. I'm gonna get to the second gentleman, but first I want to talk about Valentine and Sylvia. They are in love. Her father is the Duke, and he does not want Sylvia to marry Valentine. He wants Sylvia to marry this other guy. His name is Thurius, I think. Now our other gentleman is Proteus, and he loves Julia. Proteus and Valentine are best friends. And so because they're best friends, Proteus goes to visit Valentine, and of course finds out that Valentine's in love with this chick. And of course Proteus left the love of his life, Julia, to go and visit his best friend, which is fine and all, but this is where it gets messed up. As soon as Proteus goes to visit Valentine, he immediately falls in love with Sylvia. Which already I'm just screw you. You've got your girl Julia back home, and now you're trying to shack up with your best friend's girl? Not okay. And so, of course, when Proteus goes to talk to Sylvia, she's like, well, what about Julia? And he goes, who's Julia? I don't know who that is. She's dead. And I'm just this bitch. So then Proteus convinces the Duke to banish Valentine, so that way Valentine and Sylvia can't get married. And then Proteus tries to seduce Sylvia the entire time. Sylvia, being in the right state of mind, does not want to have it. She's pissed at Proteus for getting Valentine banished, and she's also pissed that Proteus is trying to make moves on her. But because she doesn't want it and she keeps denying him, he threatens to rape her at knife point. That is literally word for word what he says. Now Valentine, even though he's banished, he hears all of this, and at that point, that's when he, rightfully so, comes out and is like, fuck you, Proteus, I'ma fight you. But Proteus doesn't want to fight, and so he's all like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean any of that. Like, please just let my own sadness and shame be my punishment. And what does Valentine do? He just goes, oh, you know what, that sounds right. That sounds like a good enough punishment. Yeah, I won't fight you. Just live with your shame and sadness. And you know what? I forgive you. We can be friends again. You know what? You can have Sylvia. Go for it. Just take her. As if she's, like, not there. Okay, now in this moment, did we forget about Julia? Don't forget about Julia. She has actually been there the entire, like, during that whole thing, but she has disguised herself as a man, which was also another, like, fucked up thing because he kept going, Proteus kept going to Julia while she's a man, not knowing that it's Julia, being like, do this and get Sylvia to sleep with me. Like, give her this ring, give her this, and Julia's just, like, doing it. And I'm like, why, girl? He's trying to sleep with some other woman that's not you. Anyway, but in this moment, Julia reveals herself, that she's been Julia the whole time. And she begs for his love back. And I'm just like, A, why are you doing this now? And B, why do you even still want Proteus? He's a garbage human being. So then Proteus gets Julia, which was how it should have been the entire time. And then Thurius and the Duke show up. And at that moment, Valentine is, like, still ready for a fight. So he goes, he's like, I'm gonna fight Thurio for Sylvia. And so Thurio is just like, I don't feel like fighting. You can have her. And so then the Duke is like, oh, okay, well now I like Valentine. Sure, go ahead, marry my daughter. When the whole time he never liked Valentine and now all of a sudden he does. It was just like a what the fuck was going on with this story, especially the ending. Like, literally when this book was done, when I was done, I threw this across the room because I was just so mad at it. But also too, even in the beginning, I had to read the first act twice because I just had no idea what was going on. It wasn't that it was, like, written confusingly. It was just, like, it felt like they were all talking about nothing, even though they were talking about stuff. It was just very odd, and I'm 100% not a fan of this book or this play at all. I mean, once he said that he was going to, like, rape her at knife point, I was done with this book. I was just like, excuse you, just because she's saying no to you because she loves your best friend instead? Like, how dare you? So obviously I gave this 1 star. Horrible. So now one of my other goals for the month is to read a 2019 release so I can try and catch up on books that I meant to get to last year and didn't. So for that, I read one that I really did enjoy. It's not one I didn't like. And that is The Hidden Power of Fucking Up by the Try Guys. I love the Try Guys. They are here on YouTube. They have really amazing content. I love their videos. They basically try things. What I love is that it's funny and it's very entertaining, but at the same time, you learn something with every single video. There's always a learning experience with the videos. But they wrote a nonfiction book last year about some of the things that they have tried that have been in videos and some things that were not in videos of things that they've tried and what they've learned from it. But mainly they talked about, you know, the power of fucking up. So it's like the things that they tried and they failed at and what they learned when they failed at those things. And I just really, really loved this book, and I love the pictures that are with it too. And it's also autographed. It really sounded like their voices, which I love. When I was reading it, I could hear them, like, speaking in my head. So I would definitely love to have an audio version of this. So I really enjoyed, like, the lessons and the journey that they went through in this book. I think the only thing that I didn't like about it was that a lot of the content in here was stuff that, you know, we had already seen in their videos. So it felt like most of it was nothing new. But I still really enjoyed learning about their lives and the things that they've learned throughout their life. and I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Another goal of mine, reading-wise, for the year is to read at least one 2020 release each month. I feel like I said that sentence weird. So I can try and read more newer books, and so for that, I read The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I had heard some really great things about this book, so I was really looking forward to it. This is like a mystery thriller about these two people, they're a couple, they're getting married. They've only known each other for, I think, a couple of months. One of them is like a B-list celebrity who does like a reality show. I think it's like a survival show, kind of like Bear Grylls. He's like Bear Grylls, but like a very young, horrible version of Bear Grylls. Like, this guy sucks. And you have the woman who I think she owns her own company, but she's also like super rich and also super annoying. That was one thing about this book. Every character I hated. Like, they're all bad people. But then you also have like some people in the wedding party that you're following. You have, you're also following Hannah, who is a +1 to this wedding. You also follow the wedding planner. And it's all taking place on this remote island that's known to have like ghosts on it or something. It was just like a very eerie, creepy place. And so the book definitely had that creepy, eerie feel throughout it, which I really loved. It was very atmospheric. So someone gets murdered at this wedding, and the whole book you're trying to find out who was murdered, because you don't actually even know who was murdered, and then who murdered the person and like why. Everyone in this book is just a garbage human being. Especially the men. They were, ugh, they like literally made my skin crawl with how like creepy and awful they were. But I loved the mystery. The ending was definitely a shock, and it took me by surprise. The book literally had me guessing like throughout the whole entire book what was going to happen. I will say it kind of started off very slow in the beginning, but then it really like picked up by the end, and it was wonderful. The ending was great. I also really liked reading the perspectives of all the different characters, because even though they were so unlikable, they were very complex, and that's what like kept me going. So this book was definitely entertaining for sure. It wasn't a favorite, but I enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book I read was my random pick for the month. So every month I just pick a random book from my shelves. And I actually have a clip of me picking the random book, so here it is. Alright guys, it's towards the end of April. I feel like it is time to pick a book for May. Sorry, I'm literally losing track of time. It is May next month, right? Okay. This quarantine and like staying home all the time, I like don't know where I am sometimes in time. Like, not like where I am in space. Like, I know I'm in my room, but like, I don't know where I am in time. See what I mean? Quarantine's just like making me not be able to talk either. So let's just do this thing. Okay. So, well, I picked 2. Let's go with those 2 then. Alright, so my choices. Ooh. Ooh! Okay, this is gonna be a hard one. I like both of these choices. So, first one I chose was The Marvels by Brian Selznick. I absolutely loved his other book that I already have forgotten the name of. It'll say on here though, right? Yes, okay. So I loved his other book, The Invention of Hugo Cabret. And so I wanted to obviously get some more of his books. And this was another one I picked up because this cover is gorgeous. It is so pretty. And I know it's like huge. Also, it's got like gold edges. Oh, so good. But I know it's huge, but most of it is pictures, so it like should not take long to read. Like the whole first half of this book is literally just pictures. So this is like something I'm super excited for. But then also I chose Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, which I am so excited for as well. This is the first in his young adult series about a girl who wants to be a pilot, but like they won't let her. And that's like all I really know about it. But I love Brandon Sanderson. I think he's one of the best fantasy writers out there. for sure. Probably like number one in my eyes. He is the number one fantasy writer for me. I've heard great things about this series and I really want to read it. Oh, which do I choose? This is actually really, really hard because I want to choose both of them, but I know I can't read both of them based on the books that I've already chosen to read this month. Okay, you know what? Okay, if I can, I'm going to try to read both, but I am actually going to choose the Marvels. Yeah, that's what I'm choosing. No real reason behind it. I just feel like I needed to make a decision, and so I made a decision. But if I can, I will also try to fit in Skyward. So as you can see, the book that I chose was The Marvels by Brian Selznick. I 100% loved this book. And this has now solidified Brian Selznick as a favorite author of mine because I have read one of his other books, really loved it, and then I also really loved this one. So this is a middle grade book with a ton, it's literally just like, hold on a second, let me see if I can do this. It's literally just like told through pictures. And then the end has like words, but like most of the book is just told through pictures. Just trying to make sure I'm getting it in shot. But this was honestly just like a masterpiece. Usually I'm not like a fan of this type of style of artwork, which is like just like pencil, like simple pencil drawings. I don't know how to explain it, but I thought this type of art definitely went with the type of story because this story was such a masterpiece. It was a very rich story with lots going on, and I just love how he's able to capture such a vivid story with just pictures. You have two time periods. You have 1776, which takes you on this like generational story, and then I think the last half takes place in 1996. Or it takes place in 1990, where you then follow a little boy and he goes to visit his uncle, who he's never really known, like he's never really seen him much. He just knows him as like his like weird uncle, and he finds out about this story and he starts seeing the connections and seeing how it connects to him and how it connects to the world. Sometimes there was also like this very like creepy vibe happening and I wasn't sure if like what's going on. There was also a little bit of like a mystery added to this. It's just, okay, I don't really feel like I have all the right words to describe how amazing this book is, but it's so amazing. Loved it a lot. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I do also want to mention, because all those books that I read were all white authors, I had never really realized like the color of the authors. It was more so I just would always pick up books that interested me. I never really paid attention to like who the author was or where they come from or whatever. But as I was like looking back on all the past months, I do typically read white authors. So I do want to change that, and so I'm adding a new goal for each month this year. And I think what I want to do is I want to read definitely at least one book by a person of color each month, but I want to try and make that more like 2 or 3 because I want to diversify my reading a little bit more because I never realized that I didn't do that. However, I will pay more attention to that at the end of the year, so that way I can look at it as a whole and then try to work into next year how I can really diversify my reading more and better. But I'm going to try and start reading more people of color starting next month, because that was something I never really paid attention to, but it's definitely something I want to pay attention to now. So now on to the movies that I watched, and I only watched one movie, and it wasn't even a documentary, because I've been trying to watch a documentary every single month, but I think last month I watched 3 documentaries, so that's fine. I can skip this month. So I only watched one movie, and that was The Lovebirds. I was looking forward to this because it was supposed to come out in theaters, but of course theaters are closed. But it ended up going to Netflix, so I was very excited to see it there. And when I watched the trailer for this, I was like, oh, this reminds me a lot of Date Night, which is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie so much. And it definitely is a lot like Date Night. A lot like Date Night. It's very funny, and I definitely think the 2 main characters have really great chemistry with each other. I also liked that it was an interracial couple. Overall, it was just okay. Like, I felt like it was the same exact thing that I watched with Date Night. It just changed up the story a little bit, but it still had all the same, like, cliches and whatnot. It just kind of felt like this was nothing new and nothing special. But I mean, it was enjoyable, it was fun to watch, but it's one of those movies where I don't think I will watch it again. But I liked it. So I ended up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. So next thing, I usually go to favorite things, but I don't have any favorite things for the month of May, so we're just gonna skip it and go straight to TV shows, which I have a lot of TV to talk about. That's mainly what I've been watching, is TV. I think that's why I've been watching less and less movies, not just because I'm not going to the movie theater, so I can't really watch many movies, but also just because I've been more focused on watching TV. And I've been really excited about TV. So the first thing I want to mention is I finished watching BuzzFeed Unsolved True Crime. I watched seasons 4 through 6, really loved it, and then I also started and completed watching BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural, which was very scary, but also very funny. I just love Shane and Ryan together. I love that Shane really, like, helps the show not be scary for me, because if it wasn't for Shane, I would be terrified. So basically, Shane is not a believer and Ryan is a believer, and you have both of them going ghost hunting in these haunted places. And they can get pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie. Some things really scared me, like what was it, the first episode with the flashlight thing? That was terrifying. Some of it was scary, but most of the time it's very funny. Like the Goatman's Bridge episode was just really hysterical. I love that, like, Shane went crazy and was like, "It's my bridge now, Goatman." Anyway, I definitely want to watch more. I think they will come out with more stuff. They just have to, you know, this coronavirus has to go away so they can go back to filming them. Another thing that I watched was Middleditch and Schwartz. This is on Netflix. It's a comedy special. There's only 3 episodes. I really wish there had been more because this was hysterical. I found myself laughing out loud, almost peeing my pants a couple of times. Like, this was funny. Middleditch and Schwartz, God, that's hard to say. Middleditch and Schwartz, I forget their first names, but they have this, like, comedy show, this improv comedy show that they do. And it's like an hour-long show. I never thought improv was funny, but their improv is funny. I love that they actually use, like, stories from, like, members in the audience and put it into a show. It's so good. Then I also watched Upload. So this is a new show that came to Amazon Prime, and I really, really liked it. The reason I watched it because I love Robbie Amell, and he is starring in this, but it was such a cool concept. It's about this world, I mean, it's like our world, but I guess the future, where instead of, like, dying, you can upload yourself, and then it's kind of like you live forever, but you live in, like, this virtual world. And so we follow, I cannot remember his name, but Robbie Amell's character, who he gets into a really bad car accident, which might have been foul play. Someone was trying to kill him, I think. So when he goes to the emergency room, they're like, either we can take you to the OR and we can try and save you, but who knows if that's gonna actually work, or we can upload you. And so he chooses to get uploaded, even though he was definitely coerced into uploading himself. The only problem is you can't get, like, re-downloaded into another body or something. Like, you're staying in that virtual world forever. But, like, some of his memories were, like, distorted, and so it's him trying to solve what exactly happened. Like, was this foul play? How did, like, I 100% think it was foul play. But he also has this, like, horrible girlfriend. I don't like her. But he's starting to fall for his angel, who is, like, someone who, like, just helps him get adjusted into the world of Upload, and it's, like, basically their angel. I don't know how to explain this. I'm, like, now getting way off track with this show, but it's so good. It had some comedic moments, and it has, like, a lot of heart, but I love a good mystery, and so I think this definitely had, like, a little sprinkle of mystery with it while also being really funny. And it was written very well. I would not have expected anything less from the people who created The Office, so I definitely recommend this show as well. The next one I want to talk about is In the Dark, Season 2. Season 2 premiered back in April, but I didn't get to it until May. And it's so funny how a lot of the things that are being talked it's so funny how a lot of things that are being talked about in this season, which was definitely filmed way before all the stuff going on in the world is, with like police brutality and Black Lives Matter. That stuff is like all in this show. I really loved the first season, so I was excited for the second season to come out. I will say it's hard to talk about shows when it's not about the first season, because I feel like talking about the second season just like gives things away for the first season if people haven't seen it. But this is a show that follows a blind woman who gets caught up in like the drug world, like the drug selling, but she also deals with the cops a lot because she's, at least within the first season, she's trying to figure out who killed her friend and why. And her friend did sell drugs on the street and stuff. But like the second season, she gets caught up in money laundering. So I really like where this story is going. I like where this show is going. I think they're doing a really great job with it. I love that it is a very dark show, but you do have a little bit of comedy moments here and there. And I just love the friendship between the three main characters. Jessica, Felix, and Murphy. I can't believe I remembered their names. I'm so bad with names. But I like their dynamic with each other. Moving on to the next show that I want to talk about, which was The Great. Another new show that came to Hulu. And oh my god. Okay, so when I first saw the trailers for this, I was so excited because I like the two main actors that are in it. Nicholas Hoult and, what's her name? Elle Fanning. I think they're both really great. And then also, the trailer made it look super funny. And it is very funny, but I also did not realize how dark it was going to be. It's very dark. And also there is a good amount of nudity, and there is a lot of sex. So just be warned going in that is going to happen. But this does take place, when was Catherine the Great around? I don't know, but this was about Catherine the Great, who was Russia's queen. Did they have queens? Is that what it was? And a lot of these characters and the things that happened in the show are actually based off of real things that happened. Because after watching the show, I was like, I want to know everything about this woman in the real life. And I was reading about her life and the things that she did, and I was like, wow, that show is actually pretty accurate. They just turned it into a comedy, so they probably changed a little few things here and there just to make it more comedic. But basically, we have Catherine, who, I think she's from Germany, but she gets married to the King of Russia, Peter, and he is a shit show. He is a garbage human being. She just kind of has to deal with this, but she doesn't like him, and eventually she starts planning a coup. So that's what the show is about. It's her planning a coup to kill Peter, and then take over the throne for herself. And along the way, there's a lot that goes on. This show, I felt did such a great job with the writing was just astounding. Their dialogue with each other was so good. My favorite characters are definitely Leo and the little servant boy. If you have Hulu, please watch this show. I cannot wait for a second season with the way this ended. It needs a second season. And then the last TV show I'm going to talk about is Crikey, it's The Irwins. At this moment I have completely finished the show, but in May I only watched the first season, but I will talk about both seasons right now just because I have finished it. I love it. So basically we're following Steve Irwin's children and his wife in this show that was kind of similar to Steve Irwin's show, where they talk about animals, they talk about the Australia Zoo and all the things that they're doing for wildlife conservation and their rescue team and their hospital that they have there, and you literally just learn about all these animals. When I started watching this, I was in a mood where I was I just need a feel-good show, and that's exactly what I got, because I was just sad all the time in life. Sad and mad. It's the only emotions I was feeling. for like days straight. And so whenever I watched this show, it was the only time I actually truly felt happy. Because I don't know what it is about the Irwins, they just can always put a smile on my face. I really hope that they have a third season for this show because I think it's really, really good. I feel like it will. It's very informative, very fun, and feel good. I liked it a lot. Okay, so now I didn't really watch any musicals or plays, but I did watch a little concert that is available on Netflix, and that is Ben Platt live at Radio City Music Hall. I really love Ben Platt. I saw him on Broadway in the Book of Mormon. I've seen him in the Pitch Perfect movies, and I've seen Dear Evan Hansen, not with him in it, but, you know, he like wrote the show, so I love Ben Platt. I feel like he is super talented. I still need to watch The Politician, which he is in, and it was great. I really like his music, and I loved, like, he really gives a good performance. I like that he really, like, showcases his background singers as well. Because they were all amazing, his background singers had such amazing voices. So now I'm going to show you my bullet journal, which will also consist of like my favorite memories of the month and everything that you're seeing in this video. But in case you like bullet journals, you can definitely check out the next couple of like seconds of this video where you look at my bullet journal. What am I saying? Hi guys, so I have my bullet journal here to show you for the month of May. The theme was obviously waterfalls. I just really liked this painting, so I wanted to incorporate this painting into the spread. And then here we have my quote, which is, "Just let it go and fall like a little waterfall." It says Bob Ross. I just got this straight off of Google Images. I was a little lazy with this one. And then if you haven't been here before, this is not going to look like anything you've seen before, I guess. But if you've been here, you know this setup. But this is my book wrap-up for the month of May. So over here I have books that I want to read, books that I want to buy, other books I read, other books I buy, and then the books that I read with their star rating. And then I do the same with the movies, although things are still closed, so who knows? And I only watched one movie, so it's pretty empty. And then this is where I do monthly statistics for the books and the movies, but I didn't really work on this too much just because I didn't read a lot and I didn't watch a lot. And then I have my notes on the books, my notes on the movies, which is very little. And then here I have the TV shows that I watched, some musicals and plays is like what goes over here. Favorite things for the month, which I didn't have. This is all kind of stuff you've seen before. This you have, and this is spoilers right here, but my song playlist for the month. I had 8 favorite songs and only 6 spots, so I had to get a little creative. So look forward to the 8 songs you're about to see. And then these are TV shows that I want to get to, goals for the month, a video schedule for YouTube, which I actually used, and then a brain dump. Then I've got my habit tracker, my mood tracker, which I kind of gave up on halfway through the month, which is kind of upsetting because I actually really like this mood tracker. I tried my best to make it look like a waterfall, with this being a mountain. And then we have my budget tracker, which I've been getting better with. I don't know why it's so hard for me to stick to a budget, but it is. But I am getting better with it. And then this is probably one of my favorite spreads in my bullet journal. I have this app that's called Happy Color. It's an app that just, you know, I color pictures, and it's very relaxing for me for some reason, so I like doing it. So these are some of my favorite pictures that I colored for the month of May. And then we have my favorite memories. So again, I still have like some memes that I really enjoyed. I put them over here. They're mostly about coronavirus, so that way it's just kind of like this coronavirus was still going on at this time. But on May 2nd, I got fake married to one of my best friends. We had a Zoom wedding that the guy playing the groom did not realize that he was playing the groom, and he didn't realize that it was a wedding. We told him a fancy dinner party, but then we just did literally like a 16-minute wedding ceremony. It was so funny and so fun. It was great. So now I have a gay husband. It's very, I like that. And then on May 9th and May 23rd, I did a Zoom hangout with some of my college friends.
for 2 birthdays. The first one was for Alex's birthday, and the second one was for Olivia's birthday, which was fun. We kind of were talking to each other for literally like 4 hours. I think for both calls it was just 4 hours long. And then over here, this is another Zoom call every single Friday. Since I lost my job at ECFMG, all of us workers at ECFMG, we try to get together every Friday and just do a little Zoom call, catch up with each other. And so I took pictures of one of the Zoom calls, and these were all the people that were there. And then on May 30th, it was my cousin's birthday, so I actually went to go and see her. It's us wearing masks, staying 6 feet apart, because that was what we did. Yeah, so that is it for my May bullet journal. Back to the video.
Now we're going to end this video with my favorite songs of the month, and I have a lot of favorite songs. I was listening to a lot of music in May. So the first song I want to talk about is Stuck With You by Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber. This song came out at the very beginning of May, and I think it had to do with, you know, coronavirus and being quarantined and like, I'm stuck with you. And I'm like here being like, I'm not really stuck with anyone except my roommates. Basically, I just really liked Stuck With You. It was very cute. I thought it was just like a cute little song about, you know, being stuck with the love of your life in quarantine. Even though I'm not. But it was cute. Then I have 2 songs by Haley Steinfeld that I really like. She came out with like a new EP in the month of May. And I just like randomly decided to listen to it, and there were 2 songs that I really loved on the album. Wrong Direction, which just like really spoke to my soul. I was like, wow. Like I was getting goosebumps. I was like, this is me. But the main one I do want to talk about from her album is End This Love. I loved it because it was it like remixed that song, you know, L is for the way you look and me, you know that song. Love that song. She kind of like remixed that song into, you know, a song that like love sucks. And it was just like very more like modern and pop of a version of that song, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Then I also have For Once and For Her by Austin Carr. This is a new person that I have found out about through Robert Mannion. I follow his Instagram. I like him, a huge fan of Robert Mannion, so when he was like, listen to this song and this album, I did. And I really liked this song on it. It's a very like chill layout on the beach looking at the sun kind of a song. Then I also have Bitches by Mitchell Tenpenny. This is a country song that one of my coworkers introduced to me. We were closing one night and he played, sometimes he'll play his music, sometimes I'll play my music. He was playing his music and he was like, you have to hear this song, Ellen. And I heard it and I fell in love. It's Bitches. He doesn't deal with bitches no more. It's a very fun song. Then I also have Boxes by Galvin James. This is another person I'd never heard of, but I heard this song through Niall Horan because I'm a fan of Niall Horan and I follow his Instagram, and he was like, listen to this song, and I was like, ooh, this sounds cool. So then I went to YouTube and listened to the entire thing and watched the video, and it's, I don't know how to describe, I just really like the song. It's pop. It's fun. Yeah. No other words to describe it. And then also the Jonas Brothers came out with a new song with Karol G, and it's called X. And it's a very fun, danceable tune. I really like the Jonas Brothers. I'm so happy they're back. You have no idea. And I love that this has like a Spanish flair to it. It's very, very fun. Very dancey. It's definitely dancing to it quite a bit. Another very dancey song that I was into this month was Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. How can you not work out and dance to this song? Like, I loved it. And I loved the music video for it too. Very purple. And then the last song I'm going to talk about, which is the song I guess I'm going to leave you with, which now I'm realizing is a very sad song. So sorry to put you in such a sad mood at the end of this video. But I felt like I had to make a Ben Platt song like the main song for the month, because I was just listening to his album on repeat this whole month, and I still am. Even in the month of June, I'm like still listening to all those songs. But the song that I think I love the most is probably the saddest song on the album, and it's called In Case You Don't Live Forever. He was explaining it in his concert. Because he dedicated the song to his dad, because he kind of wrote it for his dad, because he wanted his dad to know how much he loves his dad and like how much his dad means to him. And he's like, I need to say these things before you go, because I don't know when you're gonna die, I don't know when you're gonna leave, but I want to make sure that before you do, you know how much I love you. But it's just a really wonderful, beautiful, sad song. Like as soon as I heard it, I was just crying my eyes out. And it was the first song that on the album where I was like, I need to learn all the words right now. So that is it for my May wrap up. I don't know how to end this video. I don't know what to leave you with except for a really sad song, and I'm very sorry about that. But I will see you guys with more videos. I do plan to get back to my book hauls. I haven't really done a book haul in like a year, so I definitely want to continue doing that. And then of course I will have wrap-ups for the month of June, because there's a lot to talk about for June. So I will just see you guys later with more videos.
Going in me, but I haven't helped you to hear it. We've only got so much time. I'm pretty sure it would kill me if you didn't know the pieces of me are pieces of you.